So you're probably wondering, who's John? And why did he get an arcade? Well, John, who also goes by John Ho Fun, has been featured in a few of my videos, as early as being a model for my Minty Pie and Free Play Zero. He's also helped me make this cool intro splash screen for my Nestcade, and has also helped me model the Hyperpixel Pie, and most importantly of all, he's been a great friend of mine for all these years. John also has an Etsy store where he sells his makes, and please do check out his Instagram. I've left a few links in the description below. He's recently bought a new house, and what better way of showing my appreciation by gifting him and building a bartop arcade as a housewarming present. So a lot of parts I used was from my Wallcade arcade. The bulk of what I had to pay for was the arcade cabinet itself and the screen. The bartop MDF boards were bought from eBay, and personally I wasn't pleased with the cabinet as I had to pay for the screws and brackets to piece everything together, and it did not come with instructions. It's not rocket science to build one of these, and most of it is common sense, but I think it would have helped as I did come across some parts which did not fit together well. So on that basis I will not be supplying any links to the bartop arcade. So enough of me moaning, and sit back, and I hope you enjoyed the sped up montage of this build. So now the bulk of the barcade is done, here is what it looks like from the inside. So the next thing to tackle was the speaker. Here I'm just placing the speakers where the speaker holes are and screwing them down. I'm also using my first amplifier from my Wallcade, and now all that there's to do is attach the wires from the speakers to the amplifier and neaten it up with some cable ties. After attaching the speaker grills, all that I had to do was place it back into the arcade. Next, I drilled out some holes for the VESA mounted monitor. To have an idea of where the monitor will be placed, I measured the line from the back of the speaker panel down to the control panel. I then measure the thickness of the monitor and the VESA mount so I can see how far the VESA mount bracket is recessed for it to be screwed down in place. And finally, I can screw the monitor in place with some VESA mounted monitor screws. I know I'd be opening and closing the controller up constantly, so I added these latches which will latch in place when you set the controllers down. I also added a hinge so it can be opened and closed easily. Now on to adding the joystick and buttons. And obviously the ball tops. Wiring everything up, I didn't take much notice of the placement, as we can configure the button mappings from RetroPie. So I'm not really sure why these barcades only have one button for each controller. Maybe they assume you only be playing arcade games and just need a coin and start button. So I went ahead and drilled out an extra hole for each player. So I'm no professional when it comes to electric, and I know there's a better way to add power to your arcade. But I did go the lazy route by just adding an extension cord and powering everything from that. Almost at the finish line, I added a hinge for the rear door and obviously a latch so it will close at the right place. Drilled an extra hole at the side. I've had a USB lead so we can add extra peripherals like a keyboard for example. And now I can call this done. Now to test it out. Before the big reveal, here's a quick ad break. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. If you have a project in mind and require custom PCBs or 3D printing services, then PCBWay will help you out with that. They have an easy website to upload your projects to. Just wait for their team of experts to review your circuit board or 3D files, and you'll receive your projects with absolute professionalism. I've used PCBWay for my 3D prints and they've come out amazingly. So if you have a project in mind, please check out PCBWay. Now back to the video. So some 10 months later, yes it took this long for John to complete his house, I finally can get this thing out of my garage. It's time to give this arcade a new home. Okay, I just got to John's house, so let's give his housewarming gift. John, So I got you something else.
Oh yeah.
A housewarming gift.
Oh nice.
So you want to go to my car?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
What? It's so big. What is it? You gave me an arcade machine. That's so what? No way. That's so sick.
Yeah, I don't know where you're gonna put it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I hope you enjoyed this video. A quick like and subscribe would mean the world to me. And until next year, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.